Hi guys, I would like to show you how did I set up the background in vMix, where you can switch between how many participants are you actually having now. So we have one input layer with black and white masks, and we prepared these masks before. It's just regular black and white based on the number of participants. We loaded it through the photos input, where you can choose the folder. It will load all pictures from that folder into one input, and you can switch the active picture in this slider. Here we have the base background image, which we copied from through the create virtual input. This is our copied background image, and here we set the color key to key fill input to our mask layer, which will mask the black color. It will cut it out. And now when we choose the layout in the mask, for example 3, it will dynamically adjust in the virtual masked background layer. So we can dynamically change the layout based on how many participants we now have. Here is the main zoom. It was just blank input, where we set as multi-view the zoom gallery input and the masked background. So here you can see the live preview. We can change the layout. We can set, for example, 5 participants, and I can now hide the camera at 1. Okay, now we have only 5 participants, and we adjusted the layout quickly. So, for example, now we will have 6 participants again. We can see it here, and we can react immediately to show the 6 windows. We can also set up the opacity layer if we want, for example, the background image to be lighter, or some adjustments to it. And we can build it like blank input, which we will key with the same mask as we use for the background image. And in the color adjust section, we can play with the alpha channel. We can set it, for example, in the middle. And this opacity layer we can apply to this masked background layer in the multi-view section. So we can add it here. It's like a transparent layer over the masked background. And this virtual background layer is directly connected to the zoom gallery window. We can also set up keyboard shortcuts for this slider. So when we watch here, if we have, for example, 6 participants and now 1 participant disappears, so we can press just keyboard shortcut and we now have 5 participant layout. And we can set it up here in the settings, shortcuts. I already have shortcuts for all 6 windows, for 1 participants, 2, and until 6. And we can create the shortcut with here add. Here I set it to number 1, 1, 2, 3, and so on my keyboard. So we can even find the key here. When we press the key, the function is set to select index here, and the input should be set to our mask input. And here in value we can, or index, we can set the index of the image in our slideshow. So we are building now a shortcut for the one participant layout, so we set 1 as the first picture in the layout slideshow. I already have this shortcut, so I will close this. And so we can set up for any of the prepared layout here. So now we can just press keyboard keys, and it's immediately reacting. I also set the fade interval or duration here, when we can right click on the mask input, and in the slideshow settings we can set the duration, for example, how we like, and even the effect with which it will switch. So we set 1 second, so it will be now slower.